today is the first day of spring, and perhaps inspired by the European spring classics and all of those cobbled streets and the white roads, I've decided that today I'm going to do mostly a gravel ride.
The community of Strange, Ontario sits astride Western Road, just north of King Road, and originally it was called Williamstown after William Wells, who opened a general store here in 1841. Now, it was his belief that the Toronto, Simcoe and Lake Huron Railway would be built along this route, but he abandoned his plans and the town in 1853 when the railway was actually routed through nearby King City. Then in 1880, Frederick Strange opened a post office here and the community was renamed, but it still failed to thrive. Now it seems that horses actually outnumber human residents.
That was harder than I thought it was going to be. Much harder. But the good thing was that in this section of road, it's very well compacted. So I guess they just haven't put the gravel down for the spring like they have in other places. Okay, so the road says it ends here, and I was thinking of going down there, but judging by the ice, I don't think that's very wise. So I'm going to go back down the hill, still plenty of gravel, and I'm going to join up on the other side of this, but by taking a much kinder route.
Watching out for number one. You gotta slow down and look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness looks big. Where you're going, truth cannot be hid. You gotta get going. Easy now. You gotta get going. Easy now.
So we're actually back on the Oak Ridges Marine Trail now. The point where I had to turn around. If I'd have gone straight down there, I'd have gone through the woods for a little way and then come back out onto the road. And this is 18th Side Road, heading to Highway 27. We all become very obsessed with statistics, power numbers, speed, time, distance. So here's my suggestion. Take your watch or your bike computer, put it in your saddlebag or your back pocket or your backpack, and look at it at the end. See how far you've gone. But while you're actually doing the run or the ride, forget about the numbers. Just run, just ride, just do whatever other physical activity you're doing. Listening to your body, looking at your heart rate monitor, but forgetting everything else and just enjoying it. And that way you won't be tempted to push yourself too hard just to beat a KOM or just to beat your personal best.
Now, of course, I'm not suggesting that you do that every single time. People have goals, they have targets, they have ambitions, they have structured training that they want to do. But every now and again, it's really nice to take the pressure and the stress off yourself and totally forget about the numbers and just go out and ride. And if, like me, you have a cardiac history, then you'll be more inclined to listen to your body rather than looking at numbers and riding to how you feel.
But this is an interesting, fairly creepy place. I think I'll stop here and just get some protein in, and that should see me through.
Stay until it disappears.
The town of Kleinburg was founded in 1848 by a German-Canadian settler called John Klein. And these days it's well known as being the location of the McMichael Canadian Art Collection, which houses a lot of the works of the Group of Seven. It's also well known as being a location for people to come and get that experience of a quiet, quaint Canadian village. And here's the irony. There are so many people who are flocking to Kleinburg to get that experience that it's no longer a quiet town. Kleinburg's still a really popular gathering place for a lot of cyclists, but if you do come here on the weekend, you've got to be prepared to put up with the traffic.
So that was Kleinburg. It's a bit of a mecca for cyclists around here, although it's so busy now that I don't bother with it very often. The road back from Kleinburg was pretty ugly with lots of construction. They're building a lot of houses. Good thing for me though is that there are these really nice ravine paths that I can take back to my house for the last kilometre or two. One final bit of gravel.
This ride ended up being just over 56 kilometres with almost 800 metres of climb, and it took me a colossal 3.5 hours, although quite a bit of that time was spent filming. And the nice thing about this area is there are so many options of roads to take that you can adjust your distance and you can adjust the climbing based on how you're feeling. The temperature was in the high teens and the sun shone the whole time, which made it perfect for riding. And if it stays like this, I'm going to be riding my bike a lot more often.